Okay. What do you guys have from the worksheet last night? Ada? 20? Yep. All right, so worksheet 3.4, let's take a look at number 20. You guys, please make sure you're taking really good notes. Any one of the story problems that you have done for homework is eligible to be on that test. A lot of times, as you have seen, I've taken homework problems and just changed the numbers around, and I put them on your test. So this worksheet, while it's from our algebra book, if you guys noticed that, it was from algebra, not from your book. Any one of these is eligible that could go on there. So make sure that you're taking really good notes and you're asking questions on anything we've done, okay? So number 20 says, Beatrice is in charge of setting up a banquet hall. She has 5 tables that seat 6 people. All right, so we have tables. We have 6-person tables. And we have 5 of them. That's the first thing. And then it says we have 4-person tables. I really want you guys thinking about how you can organize your information they've given to you very effectively. I recognize that I've taken kind of stuff out of order in what they've written, right? But I want to know my tables. I want to know how many tables I have, the types of tables. I have 6-person tables. I have 4-person tables. You're all looking at what you did for number 20, and you're all making sure you have what I have. All right, so I have 6-person tables. I know there are 5 of them. I have 4-person tables, and I don't know how many there are. So I'm going to put a question mark there. What I do know is that we have no more than 62 people to seat. So I have 6-person tables, I have 4-person tables. I have to seat no more than 62 people. That's my situation. So what we want to know is, how many tables seating 4 people will we need? So how many 4-person tables will we need? Okay. How many of you guys see rates up there? Patrick, what do you see? You know, what rates do you see? So what rate do you, put your hands down, what rate do you see? Be specific with me. Give me one of the rates you see. I do agree with you, people per table, but give me a rate. So what is that going to be? 6 people per table, right? So 6 people per table. That's a rate. Please write those down as rates, you guys. Once you see that that's a rate, write it down as a rate so you see it. What's the other rate I have here? Cameron? Excellent. 4 people per table. There is my other rate. Okay. So, Patrick, I do agree with you. We have 5 of the 6-person tables, don't we? Okay, so this is what I want to do. This is one I really want to impress on you, the fact that start with a very general game plan. Make sense in a very general sense of what the heck we're talking about. So we've got a banquet hall. We have 6 people tables. We have 4 people tables. All right? My total number of people is 62 people. How many of you guys agree with that? Okay, so if my whole is my total number of people, what am I adding together to get my total number of people? Just in general. Don't give me the rates and everything in there. In general, how am I seating those people? Brendan? No, don't do that. So where am I seating them? Excellent. So I have a total number of people at my 6-person table, right? All the tables that have 6 people. And then I have all the people at my 4-people tables, right? Okay, so if I add those together to the number of people at the 6-person tables, and I have to add to that the number of people at my 4-person tables. So as you notice, I stopped Brendan and said, no, don't think rates right now. Think just in general game plan, like just information. All right, so I know if I add all the people at 6-person tables and all the people at 4-person tables, that will give me my total number of people. How many of you guys agree with that? Okay, so now, Brendan, tell me, how do I figure out how many people are going to be at my no numbers? How many people are going to be at my 6-person tables? Excellent. And I'm just going to put right here, I have an arrow showing that's for my 6-person, plus, Brendan, how am I going to find the number of people at my 4-person tables? Excellent, that's exactly right. And that on those are my parts, and my whole is my total number of people. Okay, so now someone tell me, is that total number of people my maximum or my minimum? Addison? Excellent. That's going to be our maximum. Can you guys see how I do this every single time? I try and have the same process of mindset and thinking every single time. I try and always figure out my whole is, and then I go back and figure out what the parts are that make that up, and then I figure out, oh, we have totally even inequality here. So that must be our maximum or minimum, and then I go back and do the inequality. I try and do the same process every single time, so you get used to the same process every single time, so you are doing the same thing. So tell me, if that total number of people is a maximum, what is our actual number of people going to be in relation to that maximum? Can it be less than or more than? Amanda? Less than or equal to. So now that I've set up my game plan, if you notice, I have done no math at all. Because I don't want you doing any math at all until you know exactly what it is you're doing completely. All right, so I don't know the number of 4-person tables. There's my X. I know that I have 6 people at my 6-person tables, times, well, there are 5 of them, so 6 times 5 plus, I know I have 4 people at my 4-person tables, times X, which is my number of 4 people tables. That's going to be less than or equal to those 62 people. Finish solving that, please, if you didn't get that right. So 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4x is less than or equal to 62. Subtract 30 from both sides. I get 4x is equal to 32. So I have x less than or equal to is less than or equal to 8. What is my explanation for that? What is my explanation for that, Cullen?
They need no more than 8 tables. I mean, 8 forward tables.
Excellent. They need no more than 8 4-person tables. What do you guys think? Patrick?
Looking at my game plan, I still did like kind of the same thing, but we just kept it the number of people per 8 tables times the number of 8 tables.
That's fine. Yeah. As opposed to a 6-person?
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't have any problem with that. Great job. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the words. That's a good question. Let's look at the words, Brendan, that they have set in here to determine is that so you're saying that the number of that 62 people was going to be a minimum.
No, I said I scored on the maximum, but I don't get like how could it be more if there's more number of people than that.
Yeah, but I can't have more number of people. The most people, according to this, we are going to have no more than 62 people. So I can't have more than 62 people. So you're right, if we have more than that number of people, how can it be a less than? But the thing is, according to this, our limit was they can't have more than 62 people. Does that make sense? So that's why this is a maximum and why our actual has to be less than that, because we can't, what we are actually seating, remember the parts here are the actual number. And the actual number in relation to our maximum here, our actual can't go over that maximum. So we're not going to have more than that. Does that make sense? Okay. What else can I do for you guys? Cameron? All right, let's take a look at 12. Okay, so for number 12, I have 1/2 times the quantity of 2t plus 8 is greater than or equal to 4 plus 6t. You guys all right over there? All right, so the first thing I need to do, Cameron, is I need to do the distributive property. So while I have eliminated the necessity for you guys to show, 1/2 times 2t plus 1/2 times 8, I feel like when there's a fraction, it's probably a good idea to actually show what you're multiplying so you can see dividing out common factors. All right, so I am going to show 1/2 times 2t plus 1/2 times 8. If you didn't and you just went 2 when you multiplied that for your answer, that's fine with me, but I feel like with that fraction, I like to do that. So I can see, I can divide out common factors between the 2's, and I'm left with a 1t plus, I can divide out common factors between the 2 and the 8, and I'm left with 1 times 4, which is 4. All right, and then my right side, I'm leaving that the way it is because I can't do anything with it. So are you cool with that so far? What's wrong? Where's my subtraction? It's not, it's plus. Thank you for correcting me because I would get that wrong. But it is plus. Don't lean back in the chair, please, sweetheart. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish this. All right, I want to get all my t's to one side and all my constants to the other. I like to keep my t's positive. I like to keep my t's positive. All right, so I'm going to add a negative t to both sides. Remember, there's 4 different ways you could have started this. All right, so I have 4 is greater than or equal to 4 plus 5t. Your pies are paying attention to what I'm doing, not what someone next to you is doing. Just let me finish, please. So I'm adding a negative 4 to both sides. So I get 0 is greater than or equal to 5t. I'm dividing each side by 5. So 0 is greater than or equal to t, or t is less than or equal to 5. Cameron, does that help you? AJ, how does that happen? The only way pens explode is if you're messing around with them. And pens exploding get a little bit on your hands. They don't get all over your hands. That's you then messing around with it to get it all over your hands. Were you messing around with the pen to make it explode? Okay. Throw the pen away. Go wash your hands in the bathroom. And I'm not interested in you getting everyone's attention around you with that. So go please wash your hands. What else can I do for you guys? Colin? Oh, God, you guys. I have to summarize for your test. So we'll have to wait on Monday. Come see me if you have questions. Come see me. On that one, come see me, because I do have to review for our test. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. But come see me, because I do have to review, and I don't want to forget to review. And we almost just did. Okay. Okay, so your test is on Tuesday, as you guys know. Today is the 7th. So I want to do a Chapter 3 test summary. Will you write up on your desk, please, my young friend? Thank you. All right, the first thing that we did is we worked on we solved two-step equations. All right, that would look like something like negative 2x plus 5 is equal to 15. That's like one of those. This is 3.1, and story problems. I would look at a story, go back to those story problems for that. The second thing that we had were solve multi-step equations. All right, that's when we had to combine like terms. We had to use the distributive property. Ones like that would be something like an example that I would make sure you understand. 5x minus 2 times the quantity of x minus 1 is equal to 8. That's an example of something that you would see. And again, I would take a look at story problems here. This is 3.2. Go back to your homework quizzes. I think we've had one homework quiz. I'd go back to that and look at that. All right, the third thing we did was equations with variables on both sides. Unfortunately, like these are, almost every one of these has a possibility of story problem. But, you know, just go back and do one or two. So this looks something like 2x plus 5 is equal to 3x minus 9. That's one that might look like that. All right, when we talk about story problems here, what you're looking for is you're comparing two different situations to each other. All right, something like company A cost equals company B cost is kind of what you'll see. So for these, you're not necessarily doing parts equal to your whole, because you're comparing the two wholes together. So you're really like comparing the parts of one to the parts of the other. Okay, so definitely look at those. These story problems for your equations are going to be exactly the same story problems for your inequalities. They're all going to be exactly the same types of story problems. The only difference is, put your hand down for a second. The only difference is that instead of, you know, the total cost is, they're going to say the total cost is no more than. All right, but the structure of all of them are exactly the same. So as you practice inequality story problems, you are practicing equation story problems too. You're doing the same thing. The only difference is recognizing when it's a no more than or when it is. An is an equal sign. A no more than or a less than is going to be an inequality sign. Okay? Addie. where that's a 1? Yeah, it could be. Recognize that that's a 1 in front of that. Yep, I could do that. Yes. Well, first of all, if they're saying, I think we had one like this, when the toll road, did we have a toll road one? Okay, so the toll roads, we're dealing with 2 situations. We're dealing with somebody that has a tag and somebody that doesn't have a tag. And in the statement of what you're looking to find, after how many tolls will both costs be the same? That means the cost of one equals the cost of the other. So you're looking for 2 things. You're looking for 2 different situations. The cost of when you buy the tag or a membership versus the cost of not buying the tag or not having a membership. So you have 2 different situations, right? And then at the end, what they're saying is, after how many months will the cost of the first company be equal to the cost of the second company? That's the other way that you know that you have variable on both sides situation, is by that. In like 1 and 3.2, you might just say the cost of having a membership of your tolls, like the total cost of your toll road visits or your tolls in a 1-month period was $400. The membership to have a tag is this, the cost per toll is this, how many times did you go through? That is a 1 situation, parts equal to your whole. Can you see the difference between the descriptions? That's what you're looking for, okay? All right, so let me just move on real quick. Again, the story problems for inequalities are the same as story problems for equations. All right, they're just inequalities, not equal signs. All right, so the next thing that we did, is this 4? So the next thing we did is in 3.4, and this is solving this is 3.4 and 3.5 together, solving 1-step inequalities. All right, and then while that one does have story problems in it, my guess is that I'm going to be focusing more on the multi-step inequalities. So solve multi-step inequalities. And you're going to have story problems here. But again, you guys, if you're practicing multi-step inequalities, that's also in story problems. You're also practicing multi-step equations, because the process in setting them up in the game plans are exactly the same. The process in solving them are all exactly the same. The only difference is the equation, the equal sign, or the inequality symbol. Can you guys kind of see that practicing one helps you practice for the other? Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, that's it. That's our test. All right, so do the chapter review, but go back into those sections and do a couple of story problems from the sections, okay? Okay, if you have questions more than this, come see me in study hall. I'll help you with whatever it is I can help you with. All right? My odds, go, please.